Here we are. We are live. If someone is already here, if you can confirm you can hear me. I'm sharing my screen and everything should work as expected. So, welcome to the fourth episode of Feature Showcase Live. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m. We discuss another big feature. This time we will discuss and sync from Excel and from CSV. It's going to be probably quite long live because there are a few things to say, but it's something we never covered with a tutorial or something like that. So it's good that we planned a live. Okay, so if you are new to this series, so this is the DaDaBIK channel. What is DaDaBIK? DaDaBIK is a no-code, low-code platform. A platform that you can use to build applications, web applications, responsive web applications, enterprise-ready web applications, typically internal tools, any application based on data, and you can do it. That's why we call it low code, no code, with little or no coding. DaDaBIK was one of the very first no-code, low-code platform. My name is Eugenio Tacchini. I am the founder of DaDaBIK. I've been working in the no-code, low-code industry for many, many years. I also work in academia, teaching databases and data science courses in college. So, let me introduce, as usual, if you are new, the application I always use all the time for this series to showcase the DaDaBIK features. It's a simple inventory system I created very easily with DaDaBIK. We have a dashboard, we have our list of products, we have the suppliers with an approval system. We can see our warehouse with quantity and estimated values. We track inbound and outbound movements, and we see the understock products. This is in short the application I use to showcase the DaDaBIK features. If you haven't DaDaBIK yet, here is the URL where you can download the latest version of DaDaBIK, DaDaBIK 12.1, dadabik.com/download. At the moment, if you subscribe to the monthly subscription, the first 30 days are free, and then you can cancel any time. We also have lifetime licenses, by the way. So let me check my notes because I have, as I said, a lot of things to say. So I want to be sure not to miss anything. Okay, so let's start talking about Excel integration. So the first question you may have is why we need Excel integration. Probably you know the answer, but let's try to discuss that. Well, Excel is still very, very popular. People use it. A lot of people use it. A lot of people find it very easy to use, user-friendly. For many people, the fact that you can share an Excel file just by, you know, copying and sending a file is something they appreciate. Also, the way you edit data, so by clicking on cells, is very intuitive, even for, you know, people that are not very without a you know, a strong technical background. So we have to deal with that. Excel and spreadsheets in general are still very popular. So if you have a web application in your organization that is aimed to, you know, automate a particular business process, for example, here you have an inventory system, maybe everybody is using the application, but in some other cases you may have you know, still some users, some people inside the company or some departments that are kind of you know, managing some of the data you also manage with your application with Excel or with, you know, external applications that can then export the data in Excel. So that's why we need to integrate Excel with our web application, the one we have create with DaDaBIK. So you probably know that in a multi-users situation environment, a web application provides a better solution, a more robust solution respect to an Excel file. You know, you can implement more in detail your workflow. I don't know, you can when something happens, send an email. You can easily hide certain fields according to some custom rules. So there are a lot of reasons why a web application is better than, in most of the cases, is better than a spreadsheet. But since people are using it, we have to again integrate it. If you want to, by the way, if you want to see more about this discussion, so to see you know, advantages and disadvantages of, you know, web applications versus spreadsheet, we have an article on our website, DaDaBIK website. Well, I don't remember the URL, the exact URL, but if you Google convert Excel file to web application, that article is in the top 5 or maybe top 10, so you will find it. Well, another thing I want to tell you is that we in some way today there are hybrid solutions. For example, even in DaDaBIK we tried over the years still maintaining the structure of a web application to add some features that are typical in terms of how you know, the how user-friendly is the interface, similar to what you experience with spreadsheets. One of them is inline edit. So in DaDaBIK, you can see it here, double click to edit. If I double click here, I can change the phone number, and that's exactly, you know, what you would do on an Excel file. You double click on the cell. You can still go here, and in some cases you have to, but just to tell you that you know, we are going in that direction in terms of trying to be user friendly. What else? Before starting, maybe I want to explicitly discuss this. Install from Excel versus import from Excel. So in DaDaBIK, these are two very different features. So in DaDaBIK, you can install, create a DaDaBIK application starting from an Excel file, and that's one of the way you have to install DaDaBIK. So you give DaDaBIK an Excel file, and DaDaBIK creates a web application based on it. And one thing, but this is not what we are going to discuss today. Today we are discussing import from Excel. That means that you have an application already like this one, and you want to import data or to synchronize data from an external source, an Excel file. Okay, this is what we are going to cover today. So okay, I would say we can start. Obviously, if you have any question, just write a comment, and I will try to answer. So first of all, maybe the idea I had here was to add an additional table to this inventory system, a customers table that will be we will in this customer table we will add some records from the application, and then we will also try to import data from a customer's Excel file. Okay, so first of all, I click here, edit the application, data, and I create a new table, customers. Okay, having well, by default an ID field, and then I need first name field, last name, say email, phone, and website. This is short text, also phone is short text because you may have the plus number in phone, so it's not numeric, and website short text. Nullable, no. Well, maybe we can choose yes for phone and website. Okay, and save. So this is our customers table. Let's see. We have a customers table. All right, maybe we want to add an icon for the customers table. So pages, customers, so we don't have any icon here. We open box icons to see the list of icons we can use, and I don't think there is something for customer specific, no, but I think there is something with shop or store. Shop, store, this one. So store, the name of the icon is store, so we call it store here. And here we go. Okay, store. And customers, create new. Let me add an example of record. Bob Schmidt bob@gmail.com, and save. Okay, so now the idea is move to Excel and create a similar customers database sheet where I will add some records to import. Okay, so I'm using a Google Docs here instead of Excel, but obviously you can use also the Excel desktop application if you want. It's easier here to use Google Docs and to export in Excel format. Okay, so let's say that I call it customers DaDaBIK, and I have first name, last name, email, phone, and website. Let me increase the font. I don't remember how to do it. Probably like this. No. Increase font size. Okay, good. So here we have, I don't know, Anna Smith, Anna at gmail.com. Well, phone and website. We can also leave, well, we can add phone, like, I don't know. Okay, website. And Tom, again, Smith, let's say without phone and website. Okay, so basically when you import a table, an Excel file into a table, because what we are going to do is exactly that. So customers import. Well, you have three options. First of all, you have Excel, you have CSV. According to the option, you have different settings here, or ODS, that is the spreadsheet format by OpenOffice. So we will use Excel. DaDaBIK expects to see a file having a sheet that should be called exactly as the name of the table. So here is customers. Okay, we will see later that we can adjust this. Your Excel file, by the way, can have multiple sheets, but DaDaBIK will look only to the one that refers to the table you are importing into. Okay, customers. So I think that's it. So we can download Microsoft Excel. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go back here. And let's see. This is our file, customers.databik.xlsx. I can just drop it here, or I can click here and select that's the same. Upload. Okay, this is a preview of the records, the data we will import. It seems fine. Continue. Okay, 2 elements have been inserted, updated. When I click on continue, I will see only the 2 records imported. So I don't see the old record, not because the record has been deleted. DaDaBIK never deletes records when you import data, but just because DaDaBIK wants to, to focus on the records just inserted. So this is just a search filter, filtering just the data we have imported. So the records are fine, as you can see. Remove search filter and we will see everything here. All right. Remember that, well, a couple of things. The first one is DaDaBIK expect to see here all the fields you have in your insert form. Okay, so in our insert form we had first name, last name, email, phone, and website. So those are the fields, the columns you need in your Excel file. Having as column name in the first row the field name you had in DaDaBIK, in your database. Again, if for some reason the Excel file needs different column names, you can in your configuration file set a map between fields names in Excel and field names in DaDaBIK. But we will talk about that later. So what does it mean when I said the system expect the fields you have in the insert form? It means that even if you have additional fields here, like website too, I don't know, you may have you know, a more complex Excel for any reason. DaDaBIK will ignore this column because it's not part of the insert form. Okay. In case you don't have some of the columns you have in the insert form, what will happen? Well, if the column is not required, that's fine. So if we remove website from here, that's fine, because website was not a required field. Otherwise, you will get an error during the import. Generally speaking, all the validation you perform during the insert operation will be performed even during the import operation. I'll give you an example. Let's say that we insert other two records, Anna 2 and Tom 2, and for these records, however, the email is wrong. It's not a valid email. Okay, let's export again. Okay, import. Okay, apparently this is going to be imported, but here the validation hasn't been executed yet. So if I continue, an email address you have inserted is not valid. If you're new to DaDaBIK, you may wonder why DaDaBIK knew that that field should contain an email. When you create, we didn't tell DaDaBIK that, but if you look at the form configurator, you will see that in the customers table, the field email has content email, even if we didn't set that. The reason is that when you create a table, according to some heuristics, DaDaBIK tried to assign correct content type. So the fact that the name of the field was email made DaDaBIK guess that the field type should be, the content type should be email. Obviously, you can change if this is not correct. Okay, so this is the standard import process. Sorry, there is still the old banner. Let me hide this and change here. Okay. Let me check my notes. Okay. Okay, another thing I was missing to tell you, not only the values are validated in terms of requiredness, field types, but also remember that operational hooks are executed. So if you have after insert, for example, operational hooks, they will be executed even after the import, and email alerts are sent exactly if they are set exactly as if this was an insert, a standard insert operation. All right, let me show a couple of things about mapping. I have some code here. I just copy and paste the code here. Okay. Okay, let me comment this for the moment, and I will be back later here. So, as I said, this should be the exact name of the table, right? But maybe for some reason, your Excel file is generated with another name. So for example, let's say it's customers 2, okay? So if it's customers 2, this is not going to work. Let's try it, but I will tell you that is not working. Let me go back to customers just to regenerate everything. Okay, we get an error because there's no customers there. However, you can, as we said, we can map. We can map with the CSV sheet name in your config custom file. You can add a mapping rule saying that for customers, the corresponding sheet in your Excel is customers 2. Okay, and you can also map column names. So let's say that instead of first name in Excel, we have first name 2. Okay, so customers 2 and first name 2. Let's adjust the email so that the insert will work. Okay, and now it should work, I guess. Excel. Okay, go back. This is the latest one. Upload. Oh, okay. There is a missing S here. So customer 2. Sorry for that. Download again, Excel. And then everything should work now. Number 4, attempt number 4, upload. All right, here we go. It's working. Okay, so this is the mapping What else? What else? What else? Okay, now we will discuss synchronization. So far we have just imported records from Excel that are just added to the existing records in the table, right? But sometimes instead of just adding, you want to synchronize data. Why? Well, because maybe some people in your organizations, for example, they will keep a separated database. Maybe they are from another department, they don't use the inventory system, and they keep a separated database of customers with different data on an Excel file or on a different application that can export in Excel. That's what we call in information systems, that's what we call information silos. That's not good, obviously, because data is not synchronized. Maybe you have a phone number for a customer and people from another department using a different database. For the same customer, Anna 2, they have a different phone number. Okay, so how can you synchronize data so that DaDaBIK can recognize that the Anna 2 you have in Excel is the same Anna 2 you have here, and so you need to just update the data instead of adding a new record. I made an example with customers, but obviously you can you have tons of examples in real world. You can have the same situation with suppliers or with any other data set that you are keeping into two separated environments, applications, databases. All right, so the synchronization is a feature that is only available with DaDaBIK Platinum. So if you have DaDaBIK Pro or Enterprise, even if you enable the synchronization, you will get an error. All right, so it won't work basically. But if you have DaDaBIK Platinum, it will work. And how you can enable it? So there is a specific configuration parameter, and let's I open here the manual so we can take it from here. Okay. Synchronization. Okay, we have to set enable import CSV sync to 1 first of all. So we go to our config custom and we set this to 1. Okay, then what else? Now you may wonder why, well, not why, but how DaDaBIK can recognize that a row in the Excel file is the same, is referring to the same customer that a record in your DaDaBIK application, in your database, is referring to. So by default, DaDaBIK uses the ID. I'm calling it ID because it's a very common field name for that, but more in general, is what we have set here as unique field. So for customers is the ID. However, what happens in real world very often is that people is not going to use the ID you have in your database in your Excel file, right? In their Excel file, right? So DaDaBIK allows to set a different unique field to use during the synchronization. That is, the one that you have. Obviously, you have to be sure it is unique, but you can choose a different one. Not only you can choose a different one, you can also use, and in some cases it might be useful, at least in my experience it was useful, you can also select a unique field based on multiple columns. Okay, I will show you an example in a moment, but let's start simple. And for example, for customers, instead of using the ID that would be the default choice, let's use email. Okay, so if we use email, we have to deal with the fact that email should be unique, and probably we should also well, not probably, we should also consider the fact that the email can never change. Otherwise, if you change the email in the Excel file and not in your database, obviously DaDaBIK cannot recognize anymore that two customers are the same customers. All right, so to do that, this is the code. I'm just copying this code and then I'll change it. This is the array that we use, CSV check uniqueness field. For customers, the field is email. The example you have in the manual is a composite unique field, and it was based on for employees on office plus desk number. Maybe it's not the best example because people change their desk number and maybe they also change office, but that's an example of composed unique field. But in our case, we just need email, so just email. Okay, email. Now we are set up here, and after having added this specific config settings, if I try to import this Excel file again, instead of adding new records, the existing records, if there is a match on the email, will be updated with for all the other columns. So, well, we can mix things. So let's say that Anna 2 will be updated, will be, an update. So we change the phone, that will become 9998. Okay, for example, while Tom instead is a new record, Tom 3. Okay, so DaDaBIK should update Anna 2 with the new phone and add Tom 3. Remember that this time, when instead of inserting a record you need to update, this time DaDaBIK consider the fields you have not in your insert form but in your update form. That makes sense, right? So let's export again. All right, so we said that now we have 5 records at the end. Let's reload here. 5 records at the end of the process. We should have 6 records, the Tom 3 records, and also we need Anna 2 updated with a new phone number. Let's see if this is going to happen. Okay, so this is a long message that basically is telling us that DaDaBIK thinks that this is a record that already exists in the database. And this is correct. So if we continue, the values we have in the Excel file will be used to replace the values you had we have in the DaDaBIK database. Continue. Okay. All right. So Tom3 has been added, and Anna2 has a new phone number. Let's see all the records. They should be 6, and they are, with Anna2 having a new phone number. Okay, this is the synchronization, basically. What else we have in our menu here? Okay. All right. There is one big thing that I still have to discuss. Let me drink some water. And this is transformation functions. So sometimes the way you represent data in your Excel file is different respect to the way you use in your DaDaBIK application for many reasons. Maybe you are forced to use a particular syntax in your Excel file that is not compatible with your DaDaBIK application. Or maybe people are used to, write things in a certain way. So in all these cases, you want to convert those values in a format that DaDaBIK likes, okay? And we need this transformation function. One very typical case for that is lookup fields. Why? Let me add a lookup field first, so we will have the example to discuss. So for example, we can create a countries. Let's say that we want to add for each customer also the country, okay? But instead of adding a text field here, we add a countries table and a lookup field country in customer table, so that we will have a drop-down menu with all the options as the options all the countries we have in the countries table. Okay, this is clear. So first thing, we have to create the countries table. This is a simple table having ID and name of the country, short text. Okay. All right. Countries. All right. Let's add a couple of countries. USA and I don't know, Japan. All right. Then in customers, we need to add a country field that will contain the ID of the country, not the country name, right? So I used to, call this ID something, exactly as, the to reflect the fact that we have an ID here, but you can also call it country. The name is not, it's not the name that makes a field look up, is the configuration we will do. But this is an integer number because it's an ID, and nullable, we should set it to yes right now, just because at the moment we have customers without the ID country. If then you set the ID country for all the customers and you want to make it nullable no, you can do it. Okay, form configurator. Now we have to tell DaDaBIK that there is this lookup field. We want to, represent the relationship we have between customers and countries. That is a one-to-many relationship. So for customers and for ID country, I click ID country here. The label is not ID country, it's country, much better. Field type is a select single. Select single is a drop-down menu in the DaDaBIK jargon, in the DaDaBIK vocabulary, let's say. And we have a lookup field. So the lookup table name is countries. The primary key of that countries table is ID, and the link field is name. What is the link field? Is the field the user will see in the drop-down menu, name, USA and Japan. The user just, the final user just see the name, but we are going to store the ID, the primary key. Okay, makes sense. And save. So for customers now, in addition to what we have the country field. So if well, we need to add an additional column here. The name of the field is ID country, so it should be our ID country. However, you know that you could also write country and add a map function. I will use ID country just to make things faster. ID country. So here, if I write just Japan, it won't work. I will get an error because DaDaBIK expects to receive an integer number. That field is integer. Japan is a string. Okay, but probably people want to write Japan, USA, and the other countries, and not the ID, right? That's why we need a transformation function. So here we write Japan and USA. Okay, we export the file. But then we have to tell DaDaBIK how to transform the name of the country into the ID of the country. All right? And we need a little piece of code, literally 2 lines of code probably. And this is the most complex part we will see today. Again, if you have questions, just ask. All right, I will use the manual again. Let me check if I have something in my notes that I missed. No, I don't think so. Okay, this is a transformation function. I just copy the code and paste it here in my custom functions file, but then obviously I have to change it according to my specific use case. So CSV transform functions. Well, it's called CSV, but it's also for Excel, obviously. So the table name is customers. The field name is ID country, and the function name I'm gonna use is called DaDaBIK transform ID country, let's say. So now I have to write this function to define this function that receives in input the value for each records in the Excel file. So first time will be Japan, second time will be USA. We need to return instead ID1 and ID2. Okay, how can we do that? Well, we have to execute a query. We have to execute a query. Maybe we can also do something different here to check if everything is working, even if I don't specify anything here. I can do that. Why? Because ID country is not a required field, so I can do that. And I want to be sure that this is also working. Okay, and let's say that there are two completely new customer. I'm gonna change first name and email just to, you know, make evident the change and the new records. But even if you can also keep the same name, obviously. But since we have the sync enabled, the email should change if we want to add records. So these are the two new customers. For the first one, we also have Japan as country. All right, so if the value is an empty string, we need to return an empty string. No changes in that case. All right. If instead is not an empty string, we have to return the corresponding name of the country. How can we do that? We can execute a standard SQL query on our database, but to make things easier, we have our custom code API. In particular, we have get record details. So get record details is one of the methods we have in the custom code API. So in DaDaBIK, when you need to add your code, so most of your application will be developed no code, so without coding, but maybe you need some code for validation, custom validation function, for calculated fields. There are many ways to add PHP and JavaScript code to your DaDaBIK application. With custom code API, you have some methods that allows you to execute, to perform common operations. For example, getting, according to a field, getting the values of a record is a very common operation, and so we have a specific method for that. So customers info, DaDaBIK API get record details, table name is customers, unique field, sorry, I was thinking about customers, but it's countries info, get record details, table is countries, right? We want to get the country according to the name of the country. So this is name, and this is the value of the name, that is $value, the actual value we have in the Excel file. Here we are saying get all the record for the country having a name equal to dollar value, so Japan. Here we can only use fields that we are sure are unique. So name in our countries table will be unique, right? We don't have two countries having the same name, so it's going to work. So countries info, and now we have an associative array containing all the values for all the columns of that record. In our case, the countries table has only two columns, so ID and name, but we need the ID, so return countries info ID. We are returning the ID. So DaDaBIK will read Japan. From Japan, we'll get the record in the countries table and will return the ID. That is what we need. What I'm describing here may change in the future, because since it's very common to have lookup field and to have Excel files that contains not the ID but the name, the linked field, I was thinking to add some automatic process that convert at least the common cases without writing code. But anyway, as you can see, the code you need is just a few lines. All right. Okay, let's test our code. Go back, import 7. Japan, well, this is just a preview though. Okay, good, it's working. We have created two new records, the first one without country, the second one with Japan. If we go here, it's Japan. Okay, well, if you want to double check, but I'm sure it is this way, but if we check in phpMyAdmin, the actual customers table, where is the customers table? Oh, okay. We have to refresh the tables list. All right, so for Anna 4, ID country is 2. That means that in the database we registered ID country, the ID country, and not the name of the country. That was exactly what we wanted to do. Okay. Okay. And that's basically all we need to know about Excel import. Maybe I can just tell you briefly something about let me go back to transfer. Okay, in addition to transformation functions, the ones we have discussed a minute ago, we also have preview transformation functions. In this case, you can add code to make the preview of the import process, so the one that appears after having selected the file and after having clicked continue, different. So even in that case, you know, maybe you want to change something for some reason to make things clearer to your user, or to reflect how things will appear in DaDaBIK. In that case, you can transform the original value into something different. And that's completely up to you, because you write the PHP code for that. And that's basically everything we need to I wanted to discuss about Excel import. As usual, I always recommend to check the manual, because in the manual you'll see, you know, additional details, and you will see some additional notes with some corner cases that you need to know if you want to use this feature. But we covered almost everything. All right, so that's it for this episode. Next one, next Tuesday, will be about permissions. So everything about permissions in DaDaBIK. In DaDaBIK we have granular permissions, non-granular permissions. We have ownership, owner permissions. We have permission templates. That is not a very well-known feature, but could be very useful. We will see everything about permissions. So when I say permissions, I mean that maybe we can add. We can open here for this application. You know, granular permissions are enabled, so I can granularly set for each combination of group and field what that user group can do on that specific table and field. Okay, so this allows you to you know, grant rights to your users to make to display or not fields in forms and all these kind of things. So if you're not if you like this new series, you can obviously subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell to get notified about new videos. Normally at the end of each live in the following days, I add the live to the corresponding chapter in the documentation. So we have you know, a recent video tutorial about a particular topic in the manual as well. And yeah, that's it for today, and I see you next Tuesday. Ciao!